The fracture and the flame. She didn't remember when the fractures began, not the kind you can see on X-rays. These were different. They ran beneath the skin, silent, invisible fissures, splitting her identity into neat little sections, like compartments in a puzzle no one else knew how to solve. Her name was Alia. At least, that's what the world called her. But some days, she didn't feel like Alia. Some days, she was nothing but performance. A voice in a meeting, a polite smile, a checklist ticked off with mechanical grace. Other days, she was a silent scream behind perfect eyeliner, scrolling through curated joy, wondering when she'd stopped being someone real. The face in the mirror looked like hers. Same hazel eyes, same high cheekbones, same lips that knew how to form the right words. But something was missing, or rather, too much was layered on top. Expectations, apologies, deflections, survival instincts. She'd built a life that looked whole from the outside, but inside she was held together by borrowed pieces. Ideas she didn't choose, identities she'd inherited, truths she never spoke aloud. Until one night, she sat in front of a canvas and did something she hadn't done in years. She painted. Not flowers, not landscapes, not safe things. She painted herself, not as she was, but as she felt. She started with her eyes, the only part that never lied. Then came the shadows around them, where grief lived. Then the blue across her jaw, where silence hardened. Then the rust and ember on her cheeks, where anger had once burned quietly. And finally, she added the gold, not for beauty, but for the pieces she had begun to reclaim. She layered geometry over skin, rigid squares, circles like open questions, lines like scars that hadn't fully healed, a face half-formed, half-freed, a portrait of becoming. When she stepped back, she cried. Not because it was perfect. It wasn't. But because, for the first time in years, she saw herself. Not the mask, not the echo. Her. The next day, she didn't erase the image or hide it. She framed it and hung it above her bed. A reminder that she was not broken, she was complex, layered, wounded, yes, but not lost. Every day after, she peeled back one more mask, said one more true thing, let one more layer fall. She stopped answering to names that no longer fit. She stopped apologizing for the parts of herself that were hard to explain. She didn't become whole overnight, but she became real, and that was enough. Now, when people ask her what she does, she doesn't say marketing or strategy or whatever fits. She smiles and says, I rebuild people, starting with myself. Because the fracture wasn't the end, it was the invitation, and the flame inside her was never gone, just waiting to be seen.